Okay, 500 gram bowls, same as anything, centre up, pushing in, pushing out, same centering as was done on the 500 gram cylinder video. I'm going to do a few different, well, 3 bowls now, 2 at this weight and then 1 at just bigger. Okay, so when you've centred up for your bowl, so I use a slightly taller lump. Again, push in, so you're pushing with this hand, the thumb, so there's no tension going through the knuckle. I stop with quite a thick wheel and sort of pull back and up into a bowl shape to start off with. That's not to make a shape of a bowl that you're going to have as shape as a bowl. That's so that you've got a thickening wall. It preps the wall for being a thickening wall, so it's got a buttressing support. A similar lift to the cylinders, but comes straight back out halfway up, so you make the Diablo shape rather than the sort of cooling tower shape. And then the first lift off that is a knuckle up and out, bringing the rim out under compression. So some people might bring a cylinder up and then stretch the bowl out. If you think about the clay particles, where it's been stretched on the rim, the clay particles are much further away from each other than further into the pot, so when it dries and when it's fired, that rim will curl up or possibly curl under depending on where it is, and distort a bit. Bringing it straight out is under compression, so these clay particles are still just as close together as these clay particles. The reason to bring it in this arch is basically this bit of clay is trying to fall over that way just as much as that bit of clay is trying to fall over that way, and the whole pot is in tension, which means if I give this a jolly good tap on the bottom, even though I put loads of really big bumps in it, the rim is still fairly stable. The last move is to push the belly into it. The belly meets the rim because you've set pretty much where the rim is off that first pull, and now you can see if I tap it, the rim is no longer in tension, so it can flop about all over the place. Right. Another way of doing a bowl, which works on smaller pieces but won't work on bigger pieces, is to make a bowl type shape and then try and just enlarge that bowl type shape as you pull up. But as I just showed you before, it's not so bad on these sizes, other than you're really going quite slow to get the same size bowl out. You can see as I start pulling on this, because there's no tension in the rim, then it starts to wobble and stuff. It's not too bad on small pieces, but when you go onto a larger scale, all of the forces involved are magnified, and therefore it gets harder and harder to actually pull a proper bowl. So back to the original way of doing it, which is the way I was taught, which is to pull out the rim first, even if we go onto a slightly bigger lump, and this sort of works for any size lump. Yeah, I did a video of a bowl that was 19 kilos and 30 inches across. It was fairly similar, up and out, start to pull the rim out. I'm just doing this quickly. Knuckle up and out to set the rim. And then the final pull. It's very gentle, not really trying to thin the clay, just bringing the bowl shape in, and then clean out your goo. The final form generally is the weakest architectural form of anything that you're making, vase or jug or bowl. So it can be a good idea, if you can, to make that final shape as you clean with the sponge. So you're sort of cleaning and pushing out the final shape at the same time, so then you're not having to touch the pot after it's been made into its final shape. And that's basically it, that's bowls.